The good, the bad, and the odd. It's a thing.
Welcome to this episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Odd with your host, Mark and Sam. Hi, Sam.
Hey.
So today we are covering Thor Ragnarok, which I've saw back in November, and so this is a rewatch for me. First time watch for you, right?
Yeah.
Right, let's just do the usual bit of housekeeping. Right, listen to the end of the show if you want to know our contact info and stuff. So that's that out of the way, right? However, we have had a review on iTunes.
Well, cool.
And I don't often check it, but I check it out again. But the person who left the review is Bruce Hannon. Thank you, Bruce. Did let me know that he'd left a review, so I went and had a look, and it wasn't there. And it was like, and then it turned up. iTunes has a day or two delay. That's why it turned up.
Okay.
So that's why. The appeal for iTunes definitely worked. So this is the first one in ages. We do quite well on the reviews. I got something like 4.8 out of 5, which ain't bad, right? Mm-hmm. Anyway, so here he is. And again, thank you, Bruce. Here we go. Such a great podcast. The two main hosts, Mark and Sam, are very likeable, as are some of the guest hosts, such as Anthony and Becky. They're on my Kingology and X-Files and Twin Peaks log and stuff like that. This is a great selling point. The reason the podcast works for me is everything they cover is pretty much what I like, and in general, they only cover things I like. So you're not going to be subject to someone slagging off your favourite movie, director or actor. Sorry, I read all this wrong. Let me start again. Or that a little bit. The reason the podcast works for me is everything they cover is pretty much what I like. And in general, they only cover things they like. That's what I should have said. So they're not going to be subjected to someone slagging off your favourite movie, director or actor for 60 minutes. That's kind of true, isn't it? We kind of only cover what we want to do, really.
Yeah.
I don't mind a difference of opinion, and sure, they don't love everything, but I would say this is a positive podcast, and with so much negativity online, it makes a very happy place to go. They cover a wide range of movies and TV, from James Bond to Stranger Things, and each show will be is dedicated to a single piece of work, although at the start of the show, they have a segment called The Comfy Chair, brackets, which is my favourite part. Now, before I go on, I have to tell you, Bruce left a review and then he wrote and said, "Oh man, I just listened to you say where you said you were reorganising the comfy chair," and I so sorry. But
the comfy chair's sort of been being moved to another room.
Yeah. So. But our next episode will be a comfy chair, if that's of any plus at all. And this is where they pick a few things they've watched, read, or played recently and give a mini review. Sam is into his video games, anime and animation, and has good radar. So I get some excellent recommendations there, and often would be things I've never heard of or missed. So great. Good.
Thank you.
That's good, right? Yeah.
Both
hosts have some excellent knowledge, great taste. Thank you. Oh man, I love this guy. They have fun.
Do you want to be on the show sometime?
They have fun doing this, which comes across in their show, yet there's still a sense of being professional. They manage to tread the fine line of keeping it relaxed, yet being informative. Better than any similar type of podcast out there. They have a massive back catalogue. We certainly do, right? We're on 540 or something.
Yeah, we've been doing this since about 2011.
Yeah, and would urge everyone to try at least a couple if you want to be entertained, informed, hear of some down-to-earth opinions, and most of all, you will listen with a smile on your face. So that's a pretty damn good review. 5 stars, I should say, as well.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, Bruce. We're sorry about the comfy chair, but we're not getting rid of it. We just tried partition it because we were a bit worried we were giving the films after the comfy chair were kind of a bit punchy, and we were worried we were giving the films not quite the length they needed, which kind of became obvious when we did Spo Love Me.
Yeah,
it was a really long show compared to what we do. So we'll see how this one goes tonight, though. Yeah, so there's that review. So thank you very much. If anyone else wants to leave us an iTunes review, I will check it reasonably frequently and read it out. as long as it's not terrible and horrible. I don't mind you slagging us off as long as it's constructive, you know?
Yeah.
But, so, yeah, that's one way. And also, if you just let me know you've left a review, then I won't miss it. Because they are really, really easy to miss. Okay, so let's get into Thor Ragnarok. Okay, I just want to recap the first two films first and talk about the Marvel Universe generally. Now, Thor, 2011 that came out, so the year we started podcasting, right?
Yeah, I think we talked about it on the podcast.
Yeah, I think we did. Now, this was the fourth in the Marvel Universe. The ones that came before it, which shocked me because I thought it came much later. But doing the research, it's like Iron Man came first, Incredible Hulk came second, Iron Man 2 came third, and then it was Thor. How about that? Now, I remember thinking at the time, man, they're going to mess up. There's no way you could do a decent film with Thor. It's just too campy and weird. But no, I thought they did an excellent job, actually. Kenneth Branagh, of all people, directed that one. I really liked it. And it really helped with Loki, I think. That really helped too, Loki.
Yeah.
But of course, we had Natalie Portman and Stellan Skarsgård, and some really good ones. Some other people like Ray Stevenson was very good. Idris Elba's still in it. Ray Stevenson apparently was in Ragnarok, but I don't remember seeing him. It must have been right at the beginning.
Ray Stevenson played. If he played one of the warriors, If he played Volstagg, the big warrior.
Volstagg's a much more significant character.
He appeared once and then got offed. So
yeah, that's right. So there was that. Then apparently this was in development for years before it became MCU. Sam Raimi wanted to do it at one point. Can you imagine that? He did some good Spider-Man. People kind of slagged off his Spider-Man, but man, the second one in particular was great, I thought. The third one was the one where it fell to pieces, but I feel the touch of studio interference there with too many bad guys all at once. So that went on, and various other people were involved. Matthew Vaughn was touted as the director at one point, went on to do Kick-Ass. That could have worked.
Yeah.
But Kenneth Branagh did it, and he did it well. He balanced that kind of inherent campiness. And that Thor, to me, always felt the Flash Gordon end of the Marvel Universe. Before I think Guardians of the Galaxy kind of took that crown for at least for a while. But and then 2 years later we had the Thor: The Dark World, the follow up. What do you think of that one?
I don't think it was as good, but I still enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was all right. I think it suffered from a poor villain. We were so used to Loki that unfortunately it was Christopher Eccleston, who's a good actor. He's Frost. What was
he was a dark elf.
Dark elf, that's it.
Yeah, Frost Giants were the first film. So.
Yeah, and it kind of ended with Loki, and this is spoilers, I suppose. Loki pretending to be Odin, right? It ended on that point.
He snuck in and took the throne of Asgard.
Yeah, which is there where Thor Ragnarok picks up, right? Pretty much, it's in the same situation. Now Thor just better say, in terms of Marvel Cinematic Universe, Thor: Dark World was the 8th film in the MCU, so Thor was a pretty consistent part of the MCU in a fairly solid way, wasn't it? Thor Ragnarok is actually the 17th film in the MCU, so we're developing a lot, and it ties in quite well. For example, we see Doctor Strange briefly, don't we? And we'll get into that, but and there's all sorts of that. Now, interesting choice of director in this one. Taika Waititi.
Taika Waititi.
What did I say? Taika Waititi. Unusual choice, right? Very unusual. I think there was some decision made to make this a little lighter and frothier. And he's probably a good choice for that. He's made some great comedies. He's made Hunt for the Wilder People and What We Do in the Shadows, which we loved. We love What We Do in the Shadows, right? And it kind of worked. Not kind of, it worked. It was surprisingly well as well. In terms of some of the original casting, we get Kate Blanchett as Hela, the bad guy, the big bad in this.
Which is a change from the comics. So
and Jeff Goldblum as the Grandmaster, right? Which
is very different from the comics.
Yeah,
so.
Researching this, I didn't realise this. The Grandmaster...
The Grandmaster is a separate thing from the planet of Sakaar, which is ruled over by the Red King until Hulk takes over.
Sakaar is from planet Hulk?
Yeah.
It's comic books, right?
Yeah.
So they kind of merged the Grandmaster and planet Hulk. Now, one thing, just doing some prep for this, I didn't realise is he's a sibling of the Collector.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know. Wow, so that's kind of interesting. And we also get Cole Urban turns up as Scourge, I think.
Scourge, the Executioner.
Scourge, yeah, who's like a Cockney in Asgard, right? Now, there's been some terrible, terrible Cockney accents. Not bad. Cole Urban's fine. I think because he's Australian, he's got a better ear for that sort of thing. Right?
And he's in his acting, he's done a lot of like English accents. And he had to do Lord of the Rings, where it was basically doing English accent for like 6 years of production.
Yeah, and he was fine. He was good in Lord of the Rings. His English accent was fine in Lord of the Rings. So we got basically it's. I'm trying to think the plot. Basically, it starts with Thor collecting artifacts from around the universe. It kind of appears.
Thor is searching for information on the Infinity Stones as well as the stones themselves. This isn't really told in the film, but it's like that is what he's doing.
That's what he's doing.
So,
but he ends up facing down a demon who has some helm
Surtur
that can bring on Ragnarok, the destruction of Asgard. Right?
Yeah,
that's the point of it. And we get this comedy scene, which reminded me a bit of the beginning of Last Jedi, where Poe's pissing about with what's his name, Hux, and saying, what could I get you? And it's basically Thor talking to the demon while he's chained up, and he's slowly turning.
Yeah.
So it keeps interrupting the conversation. It had that kind of vibe. Did it quite well. I think Chris Hemsworth's got quite good comic timing, so that kind of worked, right? And I think you spotted that the demon in question was voiced by Clancy Brown.
Yeah, that was a weird thing. It was probably helped by the fact that I'd literally walked in on you watching the film with Clancy Brown in. So,
okay, right, okay. So he thinks by beating this demon and getting that crown, he's avoided Ragnarok, right?
Yeah.
So he returns back, and Odin is there, but he's watching this play about
the death of Loki
and how wonderful Loki
was.
And there's some interesting actors playing Thor and Loki and Odin, right? So Odin was Sam Neill.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
He was in Hunt for the Wilder People.
And we get Matt Damon is Loki, and Luke Hemsworth is playing the Thor.
Yeah. Who was, if I'm remembering correctly, auditioned for the role of Thor himself. So.
Wow. So he kind of got it. It always makes me laugh because there is a series called Con Man with Alan Tudyk about, his life as an actor after being in a successful sci-fi series, and he keeps auditioning and he keeps getting beaten by the various Hemsworths. And I said, why do they keep winning the roles? He goes, because they want an American. And he goes, but they're not Australian. And it's like, yeah, but they remind Americans of what Americans used to be like. Stuff like that. And his final job, he loses out to a Hemsworth called Girth Hemsworth. Anyway, I've really sidetracked that. So he basically works out that Loki is Odin, right? He's pretending to be Odin, and he does it by throwing Mjolnir and kind of holding his hand behind Loki's head and saying, nothing will stop the hammer coming. He basically Loki admits it. Now he doesn't really go mad at Loki for doing this, doesn't he? It's more like, help me find your father and all this. And
our father.
They work out these on Earth, so they go there, and this.
Well, no, Loki tells him he's on Earth.
Yeah,
because
Loki has home, right?
Yeah, which has been shut down. Demolished. So,
and meanwhile, while they're talking about this, a hole appears. A magic hole appears, and Loki falls through. It turns out that Doctor Strange is protecting Earth. All right.
Yeah. Now, from what I gather, this is supposed to take place some 6 months after Doctor Strange.
Really?
So seeing that he's like gone from not being able to wear the amulet because it's an Infinity Stone, because it's too powerful, to being able to wear it and float about and use magic as casually as he does is quite cool.
Yeah, he's obviously learned really fast everything he needs to, which is a nice setup, I think, for the Infinity War. I assume Doctor Strange is in the Infinity War.
He's in the trailers, and it also helps tie into the idea that, well, in the comics, Doctor Strange is the Sorcerer Supreme. He's like,
really? I didn't know that.
He's one of the Illuminati, if I remember correctly, which is like, he's like, no, it's not like what people think is the Illuminati. They're like the smartest and so people are in the Marvel setting. So it's like Professor X, Tony Stark, Reed Richards, that sort of thing.
I see. So we have all this. We have him. It basically not wanting Loki to be on Earth because the damage, and we have this disconcerting scene where they keep changing rooms and stuff.
Yeah, and it's basically imagining like a fairly drawn out explanation scene, but Thor is aware of the cuts.
Yeah,
so like there's a great bit where he moves, and because Thor was leaning on a shelf, the shelf comes with them. And he goes, oh, wait, I'll just send you back. He moves him back across the room between shots. Yeah. And Thor just, like, falls into it. And this is while he's got a glass of never-ending beer.
Yeah, never-ending
So that's,
beer.
like, spilling everywhere and then filling back up.
Yeah, and he's knocking stuff over. I always like Doctor Strange's cloak business. I think that's really cool. It's always quite cool. Basically, Doctor Strange establishes if they find out where Odin is, they'll leave Earth alone.
Yeah.
So he said, no problem. And he just, Loki has a real gut, pulls a knife out and says, you think you could
It's like, I was falling for half an hour.
Solid, yeah. He pulls a knife out and goes for Doctor Strange. He goes, I haven't got time for this. And just swipes. Basically does almost like a swipe left kind of thing. Which swipes a hole across the room into Loki.
Yeah, he sets up a portal and then Loki charges him and he just moves the portal towards Loki.
And they basically find Odin on a cliff top in Norway, right? He's looking at the sea, reflecting on the sea, and he explains he's dying, and that when he dies, it will allow his firstborn child Hela to come escape the prison he's sealed her in.
Yeah.
Now, apparently, it turns out Hela was the leader of, and she's based on Hel, the goddess Hel, right?
Or called Hela sometimes.
Yeah, she was the leader of Asgard's army, helped him conquer the 9 realms, but he wanted to stop after 9, she wanted to go on. But she was completely out of control, so he kind of imprisoned her. But she's been let out now, so she comes flying back. Now, what do you think? This is Kate Blanchett. So we're getting to me, I always feel like there's a bit of a Lord of the Rings vibe to some of this stuff with Kate Blanchett, obviously, and some of the armies. It looks like it, so it kind of reminded me of that. While still not being derivative, so it's kind of cool. Yeah. What do you think of Kate Blanchett as Hela?
Now, I thought it was kind of strange because in the comics, Hela's kind of an odd one. She's not 100% a villain, but she's more like Kaa in the Jungle Book.
She's a bit like Submariner, maybe, right?
Yeah.
It can be bad, can be good.
Yeah. But in this, and from the advertising, I thought it was going to be Kate Blanchett as Enchantress, who's another Thor villain.
Okay.
And Hela was going to be part of it.
So do you think they've kind of combined Hela and Enchantress into this?
Yeah, I think they've combined a bunch of stuff because Enchantress had a lot of magic and was constantly wanting to take over Asgard. Hela was the god of death.
Yeah.
And she had the big fancy antlers.
Yeah.
And there was another character that turned out to be like a sibling of Thor and Loki that just sort of showed up at one point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you think of her in the film as the villain?
In the film, she was pretty cool, but I don't understand the death aspect of her. I don't understand her domain of death, really.
Yeah, she can kind of kill. Well, she doesn't just will people dead; she kills them, but she can then raise them again.
Yeah. In the end, her death powers came up to being able to summon swords. So
yeah, and she could summon all sorts of weird weapons, right?
Yeah.
They just appeared in her hand.
And she just had a giant wolf.
And basically, whenever the hat appeared, she was ready to use her powers, right? And that was kind of. I really liked her actually. I thought she was a good villainess. Because she's very striking looking, and it kind of worked in this role quite well. And that headgear stuff they did, I thought was really good, actually.
Yeah. Now the thing is that in the comics, she is massive. She is like ridiculously tall. Okay. So it's kind of. She can change her size, but she just tends to appear in like a 2-page spread that's vertical, and she like just towers over everyone. That's the sort of entrance that she makes into Marvel Comics generally.
Yeah.
Now in this, she was much less imposing, and I think because she normally has a big ass cape. Yeah. So, and I think like they cut it down to just the headset, which was probably the most sensible you could make it.
Yeah.
But I would have liked to see them go like full comic book with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible these days, isn't it? But you know what? It'll work for me. I don't know any of that other stuff, and I quite like this. Her as a villainess, she's quite striking. She was definitely a step up for me compared to Christopher Eccleston's sort of villain. And it kind of worked for me. And we also saw how powerful she was. All the stuff she did, she basically he threw Mjolnir at her, and she just held it and smashed it. She
caught it and snapped the head, pretty much.
Yeah, so she could. She's extremely powerful, and like he was really caught out, wasn't he? They do plant some things early on. Oh, we should mention this is going to be full of spoilers, and I'd recommend going and see the film. Sorry, on Blu-ray. It's out soon on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really worth seeing. She kind of rocks up through the Bifrost, right, and Scourge is there. Oh no, I forgot we had
two of the Warriors 3 were there, and she just kills them. And Scourge, who was cleaning up an accident that Thor caused earlier.
Yeah, because he kind of a weird dragon thing was trying to follow him, and Scourge was not happy because he was trying to impress these women, wasn't he? So Scourge is taking charge while what's his name? Oh, Idris Elba's Heimdall's off somewhere because basically Loki knows that Heimdall probably would realise who he is. I reckon. It wasn't entirely explained, but I figured that's what it was. That's why, as Odin, he'd ordered him captured, and because he knew he'd been ordered to be captured, he'd have run away. Right? That's the kind of plotting of it.
Yeah.
And
I assume a similar thing has happened to Sif.
Sif was the one who wasn't around, wasn't she?
Yeah, she just wasn't in the film, so I assume she was kicked out by Loki too.
Yeah. So she basically wants to use the Bifrost to carry on the expansion of the Empire, right?
Yeah.
But Heimdall's stolen the sword that controls the bridge, which kind of stops her doing that for a bit.
Yeah.
Now there's a battle.
There's a brief fight between Thor, Loki, and Hela, where she kicks them both out of the Bifrost as it's in motion, as it were.
Yeah.
And they both end up on Sakaar.
Now, there's a comedy bit, really, in that. Doesn't Thor kind of end up on this seated thing, and it's playing the music from Willy Wonka?
That's late,
that's late.
After a bit.
Okay, right, okay.
It's like, he gets picked up by she's called at the moment Scrapper 142, but she is Valkyrie. She's one of them.
She's Valkyrie, right?
Yeah,
all these blokes surround Thor, don't they? It's a touch of Mad Maxy, isn't it? It's kind of a garbage world. Yeah. So it made me think of WALL-E, and it also made me think of Mad Max because first thing they say to him is, "Are you a fighter or are you food?" And he says something, and he goes, "Food." And then Scrapper 142 turns up and kind of. She uses like these weird. She's drunk as a lord.
She starts off with like a cool like action walk down the gangplank of her ship, and she's like, and then she just like drops off the side into like some animal carcass,
Yeah. And they just ignore her and carry on talking to Thor. And then she gets up again and she turns her arms as like controlling these guns. So she takes out all these guys. And Thor thanks her, and then she just fires something into his neck, which electrocutes him. So it's a capture device, a control device, right? And she sells him to the Grand Master, who rules the planet. Now, that's Jeff Goldblum, and it's kind of, I don't know, a cross between Willy Wonka, ironically, and Ming.
Jeff Goldblum.
And Jeff Goldblum, right? There's a touch of the Ming as well. This guy's super powerful, it would appear.
Yeah.
Or he's certainly in charge, but he kind of doesn't want any hostility. He kind of, no, we don't want none of that. It's kind of funny. And we do see at one point this guy crosses him, and he's got a stick. He's got this like woman who's always by his side, and she gives him this stick that melts people. So when he touches on the guy, he just melts. And whenever he's talking to her, now, she comes up with a stick. He goes, "Why do you keep coming up with a melting stick?" You know. So he's called. She's called Topaz in this. Topaz, that character. The woman playing it was definitely in Search. Was it Search for the Wilder People? Hunt for the Wilder People. She was in that at one point, and she's pretty dry, isn't she? She's like, she's like seen everything, so she's really not that bothered about anything.
She seems to be like more used to working with a more brutal leader.
Yeah. And so she's always expecting him to like.
Oh, she was the grandmother in Moana too.
Oh, okay, cool, right.
Wow.
And we also see TT himself plays a character called Korg, who's like a rock gladiator who's kind of funny.
Yeah,
I still laugh.
This is a huge difference to the comic book.
Yeah, and apparently he based the voice. He's got a very gentle voice, isn't he? He's like this big rock.
Hey man,
and apparently he based those voices on hearing Polynesian bouncers in outside nightclubs. They all talk like that, but they're like massive. That sounds funny.
He's super polite.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I still laugh when a certain line he says, which is "piss off, ghost."
I like that his opening line is a rock paper scissors pun.
Yeah, and
he's like, "Hey there, I'm Korg. I'm kind of the lead around here, and you got no way from me unless you're a pair of scissors."
Yeah, very nice, very nice.
And then he goes on to make another one, which like barely gets picked up, is not given like any sort of laughing time. He's like, "Oh yeah, I tried to lead a revolution, but we didn't print enough pamphlets. So he got beaten by paper." We find out Loki's already been there for a while, hasn't he? And has managed to get into the Grandmaster's good books, part of the court, right, sort of thing. And kind of Thor calls him over. Thor's in this chair. He can't get out, and he's kind of really angry. And Loki goes over and denies that he knows him, and he says, He says, "Oh, we're brothers." He goes, "He's adopted," which is a callback to the joke from the Avengers movie, right? And basically, he realizes the woman who brought him is a Valkyrie, who was the warrior race that fought how long ago. Do we get some cool shots of that battle? Because they were really cool. Those are real artists.
Really,
I like that they included the sort of classic Valkyrie look, which is like pretty much how you imagine a Valkyrie, like a blonde hair,
winged horses, riding winged horses into battle against Hela. That was very cool, and Hela kills them all apart from this one, right?
Yeah. Well, this one like hides and escapes.
Yeah, and she can't fight. She's got a touch of PTSD, so she just drinks.
Yeah,
and exists on this.
She's got bad survivor's guilt. So
yeah, so he then gets thrown into the ring, and it's not just a warm up. He's got to fight the champion.
He's the main event. He's got to fight the champion of the ring, which is Hulk.
It turns out to be Hulk, and he makes the joke. He says, we know each other
from work.
We're from work, and he's caught, and Loki's like going, and when Loki gets nervous when he sees Hulk, doesn't he?
Yeah, he just like freezes. He's got like this completely horrified look on his face the entire time.
Yeah, so
And then,
he has to fight Hulk, but he summons lightning at one point, doesn't he?
yeah, we get to see like Thor's true power, sort of thing.
Yeah, but Grandmaster kind of nullifies the fight, doesn't he? I think.
Yeah.
What was it?
He shocks Thor,
Yeah.
which seems like it wouldn't hurt him that much, especially in the state he was in. But
Yeah. But anyway, he kind of becomes mates with Hulk, not Banner, but Hulk, right?
yeah,
Kind of sharing a room. And we get Hulk wandering around in the nude. That was funny. And Hulk's going, Hulk. And Hulk can talk better here, can't he?
Yeah.
And it turns out he's been Hulk for quite some time. Banner has kind of been submerged. So he kind of tries to Thor tries to persuade Hulk and the Valkyrie to sort of join him, but they kind of don't really want to. But he does spot the jet that bought the Hulk.
yeah,
But as he's kind of about to fly away, Thor comes in and like wrecks.
well, Hulk comes in and wrecks the thing.
Hulk comes in and sort of starts wrecking the thing.
Yeah.
But then there's a recording of Black Widow playing.
Yeah, and that calms him down.
And that turns him back to Bruce Banner. That's a good bit of plotting. I really like that. And I really like Mark Ruffalo's performance in this film because basically whenever he's Bruce Banner, he's disorientated and a bit confused.
You would be. He's been Hulk for 2 years.
Yeah, and he's saying, I don't want to become Hulk again because I might not be able to come back and all this. And Hulk Thor's going, no, we're friends. I want you, but you know the other guy is useful in a fight and stuff like that. Yeah. So they kind of are on the run on the planet. Grandmaster sort of orders. He basically tells Loki and the Valkyrie they have to team up to go find it. It's like a contest to go find him, right?
And Topaz hands him the melting stick after Loki like talks over him for a second, and he's just like, "What? Why are you handing me? He just talked. I'm not going to melt him for that." It's like, why are you?
So we get some Goldblum shtick, right, which is excellent.
Goldblum has some good shtick in this.
Apparently, because the Grandmaster character is blue in the comics, right?
Yeah.
They specifically did go with that because Jeff Goldblum did actually play a blue alien in a film called Earth Girls Are Easy. He was wearing blue makeup, and they didn't want to recall that, and they wanted Jeff Goldblum, right, not a blue guy. So they kind of just kept him as he was, which is more like the Collector as well, right? So that kind of makes sense. They what happens there? They get away, right? Is that it?
Yeah, they have a pretty cool spaceship, and they have to fly through a massive portal called the Devil's Anus.
Yes.
And we get a lot of funny lines like, Loki going, okay, we need to fly into the anus and stuff like that.
There was some stuff earlier that I forgot where Thor was explaining to the stone guy, I've forgotten his name, Korg, about his hammer. And he says, so you ride the hammer?
Yes. No. The hammer would pull me off the ground.
And by a hammer?
Yeah. And he has this great summation. It's like, sounds like losing this hammer would be equal or as devastating as losing a loved one. He goes, I guess.
Don't they also start a revolution which helps them get away the other gladiators?
Loki tries to betray Thor just before they get away with the spaceship, so Thor just sticks one of the shock things on him.
Yeah,
so it paralyzes him.
That's right. So he's just laid on the thing, but then all the gladiators turn up, and Korg's like, "Hey man, you want to join us? we need a leader." I was like,
no, Loki goes, "You seem in desperate need of a leader," and he goes, "Yeah, if you would."
Yeah, nice. So they get away and leaving all this insurrection, and there is a weird scene right at the end where basically the Grandmaster's left to face all the people that are rebelling, and he's going, this has worked out well, hasn't it? I'm glad it's worked out. It's like 50-50, right? He's like just trying to tuck his way out of it. But I figured
apparently
if
there's like 20 different takes of that.
Oh, he just does all sorts, does he?
Yeah, because apparently something like 80% of the film was improvised.
Okay.
So
it worked well. It
yeah.
worked really well, didn't it? Yeah, I mean, Waititi said that he'd seen Hemsworth in other comic stuff like Vacation and Ghostbusters, and he wanted to bring out a bit of that, you know.
Yeah.
And he said he also wanted Hemsworth to kind of be riffing on Jack Burton from Big Trouble in Little China as part of his character.
I can see that.
Could you see that? I can see.
Yeah.
I didn't see it in the film.
It's
but
a lot of him trying to be
doing
like a hard man, like
just not working.
especially with the Stan Lee cameo, where he's like, "Do not touch me, mortal! You would not lay your hands on the hair of the God of Thunder." And then he like just keeps coming and goes, "Please don't touch my hair, please."
Yeah, there is a bit of that. So anyway, Hela's doing her stuff on Asgard and terrifying everyone, looking for the sword, right? So she can use the Bifrost, and the citizenry kind of run away. Well, after all these soldiers keep trying to take her out, and she just kind of kills them all, and then kind of raises them as revenants for a while, which was very Lord of the Rings, looked very Army of the Dead kind of stuff, but still pretty cool. And all the people of Asgard kind of go hide, right?
Heimdall leads them away.
Heimdall's leading them away and kind of fighting them, but they're kind of going to get hunted down. Right? Scourge is kind of being ordered to do stuff that he really doesn't want to do, and he kind of manages to mostly not do it. Right. Yeah. At one point, it looks like he's going to have to execute someone, but they kind of surrender information before he does that. So
it does seem like he's less a villain and more just trying to survive.
Yeah,
as opposed to. Whereas if I remember the comics, he's just a straight villain. So
yeah, I mean, he has a heroic ending in the end.
Yeah,
but he is kind of a bit of a shitheel. You know, and at one point he's just like, it's a bit like the end of Titanic. He's kind of dressed up with the escapees rather than sort of being brave and stuff. So I have to say, I want to see some sort of double act between Benicio del Toro and Goldblum.
Oh my God, that would be amazing.
Because they're brothers, right? So
they're part of the same order of cosmic elders or whatever they're called.
Yeah. So that's possible. Interesting. We don't have Natalie Portman in this one at all. In fact,
she's apparently not going to be in it anymore.
Yeah, so. I never thought the chemistry worked that well, to be honest. I have to say, so that sort of suits me.
Yeah.
So what else do we have? Yeah, so we have some more. Basically, Mark Ruffalo's kind of still a bit out. Sorry, Bruce Banner's still a bit out of it. But when they finally get to Asgard, it all kicks off then, doesn't it? The people trying to run away from Hela's forces, she doesn't want it. She wants the sword.
They're trying to load him up on a spaceship that the gladiators and Loki bought.
Yeah,
so
Thor
goes to fight Hela, Valkyrie, and eventually Hulk comes back out because there's a giant. The Fenris Wolf makes an appearance, which is
right. And it makes me laugh. He's running towards the people, and Banner's going, "Oh, I'm going to have to turn into Hulk."
Yes, he tries the same trick he tried in The Incredible Hulk, where he just jumps out of a helicopter.
Yeah,
but it doesn't work as quickly, so he just hits the Rainbow Bridge and just sits there for a moment,
and the wolf just stops and looks at him like,
yeah, and then carries on.
But then he grabs it by the tail. Right, that was pretty cool.
Yeah. And then they have a fight in the river, the ocean.
Yeah, that was all right. Yeah. There were some nice musical choices in this, right? There was kind of a synth soundtrack, but we had a bit of Led Zeppelin at one point during one of the battles. Pretty cool. But also we do get music from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah, and we get friggin' Pilgrim Song.
Yes, there's all sorts, right? Yeah. And apparently in the soundtrack, and I did not catch this, they did some of the Lonely Man from the end of The Incredible Hulk, but I didn't catch that at all.
Nah.
Because I know that song. That's a great song. Maybe it was in the end credits and just missed it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a big old fight, and Hela kind of gets beaten by Thor. He does his, he calls down the thunder without the hammer.
Yeah. It gets revealed that the hammer is sort of a limiter on his lightning powers until he can get like a proper grip on them.
It's a focus device, isn't it?
Yeah. But in this, we get a pretty funny scene where, a kind of sweet scene, kind of funny scene where Odin like talks him back up because he gets his eye like slashed out.
Yeah, so it becomes like Odin, right?
Yeah, he gets one eye, which is like a kind of a cool illusion because Odin, in mythology at least, I can't remember if it's true of the comics, it probably is, but in mythology, he sacrificed his eye so that he could gain great wisdom. Which
that kind of works here, right?
Yeah, and then Thor gets his eye cut out, and then he gains the wisdom of Odin.
Yeah,
and Odin directly just tells him it's like a lot of stuff. So
yeah. Good point. Now Loki goes off and gets this helm for the great demon that brings Ragnarok, right?
Yeah, they realise that even with Thor's new souped up lightning powers, he can't beat her. So they're like, let's start Ragnarok.
Yeah, which is a really nice bit of plotting. It starts with them trying to save Asgard from Ragnarok. But in the end, the only way they can save the spirit of Asgard is to bring on Ragnarok. And it kind of does make me laugh, and I did laugh quite hard when we see the demon smashing the place up, and it's like, nothing can stop him now, and then Hulk jumps into...
Hulk just jumps into them.
And they go, no, not this time, Hulk. And goes, but big bad guy. Says, no, Hulk, no. It's very funny. Yeah.
And then
and destroys
he
Hela's
smashes
power.
Hela. So
yes,
and because Loki drops a bit of information that I think is kind of important, which is because she's the firstborn of Odin, she's technically in line for the throne, so the power of Asgard goes to her.
Yeah, that's right.
Over Thor or Loki.
Yeah.
Well, it wouldn't go to Loki because he's not Odin's child technically, but anyway, but so they smash Asgard so that even if it doesn't kill her, she's now more on their level.
Yeah.
But it seems to kill her.
Yeah.
So problem solved.
And basically it's become Moses, right? It's leading his people to somewhere else, and they're trying to figure out where to go. Yeah. And it kind of ends on that line.
It ends with them travelling towards Earth.
Yeah, but we do see a shot where a big old spaceship of a bad spaceship appears, right? Which is probably Thanos.
Yeah, that's Thanos' ship.
So it's the to see how that
results. The Sanctuary, I think it's called. Okay. Yeah, Sanctuary 2. Okay. Kevin Feige just confirmed it. So
where'd you put this in terms of the Thor movies?
I'd put this first out of all of them.
I would put this first. This was really fun. I'd go 3, 1, 2 is my order.
Yeah.
I like the first one. The first one a lot too. The second one I found weak, but not like Iron Man 2 weak. Just not a very good villain and plotting. This one I really like. This. All right. Well, okay. Top Thor movie. Where would you put this in the MCU?
Ooh, that's a good question, especially because there's like 20 or 30 of the movies now.
I could try and find a list, but presumably it's near the top. So what would you say is better than this?
I'd say Captain America 2 and 3.
Oh, really? Right, okay.
Yeah, because I really like them.
Okay.
They're like, this is like, I enjoyed this in a similar way that I enjoy Pacific Rim, except this is also widely accepted as good.
Yeah.
The first two I just think are amazing films.
Okay, no. Well, any others?
Possibly Guardians of the Galaxy is on the same level.
Yeah, I'd
one.
agree with that. Yeah.
And
well, I'll tell you some of mine while you think about it.
The Incredible Hulk would come just a bit below it.
You like Incredible Hulk?
Yeah, I really like. I'm kind of annoyed that Norton didn't carry on with it.
Yeah, I like the Hulk films too.
I don't like that they changed this Hulk's design because, like, in Incredible Hulk, he was muscles on muscles. Like, you looked at him and it's like he'd punch a hole in anything. In these, after from Avengers, he seems more like just a big guy, a big muscular guy, but not like a being of muscle.
Yeah.
So
for me, I think the ones I put above this film in the MCU are probably the first Iron Man. I really like, and I really like Guardians of the Galaxy. I think I like you. I put Guardians of the Galaxy about on a par with this one. And I think I like the Avengers movie, the first Avengers movie, just a little more than this. Just a little, just a shade. But this is very high for me. I am definitely going to get this on Blu-ray at some point when it's out. And I would really dig seeing this director given a chance to have a go at something like Flash Gordon as well. I think that
Taika Waititi would make an amazing Flash Gordon film.
Yeah, this was very Flash Gordon, this film. More so than Guardians of the Galaxy, which is very Flash Gordon too. There was just something about it. And I could you imagine, like, I don't know, I keep thinking of Jeff Goldblum as Ming, in essence, right? A cross between Willy Wonka and Ming is just how he feels to me.
I can't, short of getting Max von Sydow to do it again, I can't think of anyone that I'd really like. Maybe Benicio del Toro.
Yes, Ming. Yeah, that would work. I'd like to see Walken. He's too old now, but I would have liked to have seen Walken, perhaps.
Yeah.
Someone like Ming.
Well, I mean, he's done...
No one's going to beat Max von Sydow, though. Right?
Nah.
He was amazing as Ming. So, there is that. You've got some good choices for Flash, though, right? There's some good people around that could do Flash.
I'd put Chris Pratt on there.
Yeah. And Voltan.
And Helmsworth. So
Yeah.
Any of the Helmsworths.
It'll work. I think it's time for another Flash Gordon, personally.
Yeah.
Definitely. Anyway, we're talking about that. But, all right, so what would you rate Thor Ragnarok out of 10?
I'd rate it a very high 8 or low 9.
Yeah, I'd rate it exactly the same way. I've given it an 8, but I'm feeling it could be stingy. That's a bit stingy. It's a little better than that. 9 might be a little high, but you know what? I've seen this film twice, and I'd happily watch it 10 more times. You know, I think it's very rewatchable. There is that about it. And I think we've only touched on some of the comedy and stuff. You know, we haven't covered everything. There was some amazingly good stuff. We have got some feedback on this. I put a note saying we're covering it. Ask for feedback. So I've got a couple of comments. So let's just cover those. First one's from Michael Harvey. It says, perhaps the riskiest film yet in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. There's a lot of humour in this, more so than the Guardians films, and it's the most rewarding in its own way. It's up there with Winter Soldier and Civil War. So he's got the same thinking as you, Sam.
Yeah.
So he obviously likes Captain America 2 and 3 as much as you, but thinks this one's up there. So that's cool, right? And Bruce Hannon, who left us our great iTunes review, thanks Bruce, also left a comment. I really liked the movie, but the amount of humour didn't sit that well with me. I would have cut it by half. I'm not sure I agree with that. I think it was really well balanced, personally.
Yeah.
Despite part of the story being that Thor didn't need his hammer for power, I didn't like how easily it was destroyed. I knew this was to show his sister's strength, however, cutting his hair is one thing, but don't get rid of his signature weapon. I have to say, the first time I saw this, I was kind of thinking, when's he going to get the hammer back? I was expecting him to get inside.
There's like a load of weapons that Thor uses in the MCU.
That is a good point.
From like toys that have been released for Infinity War, we know he gets like another hammer called Stormbreaker, which was Beta Ray Bill's hammer.
Tell everyone who Beta Ray Bill is.
Beta Ray Bill is basically the Captain America of an alien race that had to stay awake as the rest of his species was put into stasis and fight off demons that would regularly attack him.
Okay.
And Thor went to investigate these ships that had come. I think they'd gone near Asgard. So, like, the Asgardians were suspicious. And he arrived, and Beta Ray Bill assumed he was just another like demon that had come at him. So he just started fighting him, and at one point Thor dropped the hammer,
Yeah.
And Beta Ray Bill just picked it up and started going to town. And Odin was like so baffled, he's just set up a competition to see who'd get the hammer.
Okay.
Like, it was that serious. And eventually he had another one made, which was Stormbreaker.
Okay.
So
yeah, I could see Thor getting another hammer in the Infinity War. I could just see
he also had an axe called Skull Crusher. I think it was called Skull Crusher. But there's a lot of like famous weapons of Thor.
Yeah. So, sorry, I was carrying on with Bruce's comments. He says, overall, I'd still give it 7.5. In comparison with some other Marvel movies, Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2 are 8.5, so he really likes 1 and 2 of those. Doctor Strange is 8, and Logan. Interested he's included Logan, because that isn't official MCU, I don't think.
No, it's not MCU at all.
No, Logan is given 9.5 out of 10, which I wouldn't disagree with. It's not my personal favourite, but Logan is a good film. But I wouldn't class it in the MCU because it isn't MCU. I know it's Marvel, but we can start dragging in Blade and Punisher and all sorts if we start winding it up too much. So thanks, Bruce, and thanks, Michael. Some good feedback there. So Thor Ragnarok, good, solid recommend, right?
Yeah.
Recommend. I have to say this is a solid rewatch. It's enjoyable. It's as much fun every time. I think I've watched it 3 times now, and it never gets like, let's fast forward, because it's all good. There's nothing to fast forward for. True, everything works,
Yeah.
So next time we are going to do a comfy chair episode, right? So that's the plan, and then the episode after that, I think we talked about covering season 4 of Clone Wars.
Yeah.
But we're going to do the whole season in one show, right? So obviously we're going to be skimming quite a bit, but we were just talking about the major beats of that. But that'd be fun, right? So I'm looking forward to getting through Clone Wars and actually maybe getting onto Rebels at some point. That'd be cool. Okay then. Any last thoughts on Thor?
No, not really. It's a good film. Go watch it.
Yeah. So. Okay then. I completely agree. It's out real soon on Blu-ray as well. I think in a few days actually. So looking forward to that. Okay then. So bye from me.
Bye.
We like to hear from our listeners at The Good, The Bad and The Odd, so if you have any thoughts on this week's topic or anything else movie or TV related, drop us a line at info@thegoodthebadandtheodd.com. Written or MP3 attached, we like both. We're available on Stitcher, iTunes and as an RSS feed. Just go to www.thegoodthebadandtheodd.com for links to these. Also, feel free to come chat with us by joining our Facebook group on www.facebook.com/groups/The Good, The Bad and The Odd, all as one word. Thanks for listening, and until next time on The Good, The Bad and The Odd.